Today I'll be taking you through a bit of a demo around a few key features on the Mindhive 2.0 platform, and that is creating a challenge, managing a challenge, and participating in a challenge. We think it's a pretty cool tool and hope you enjoy the demo. So what we're seeing on the screen right now is a pop-up. When you launch a challenge for the first time, you'll see this. It sets the scene a little bit. It should take around 20 minutes, but you can take as little or as much time as you like. When we click on the Let's Do This, you'll be taken to the first step in the challenge creation process. You'll get to give your challenge a title. You can say who's posting it. You can give it a bit of a byline just to set the scene without people having to read too much into it. You can pick an image from our Unsplash API here. You can type in keywords, find the picture, select it, and that will be the image on all of the collateral or communications for your challenge. Here we've got all the steps within the process in creating the challenge. We've got the brief section, the structure, people, messages and alerts, and confirmation. As you progress through, all changes are saved, so just be aware of that. You don't have to worry about saving before you leave. You can come back later, it'll still be ready to go. Here we've got the challenge description. So this is describing what you're trying to get out of this challenge or issue or call to action. You can basically use this tool however you want to use it. We just use challenge as a broad catch-all term for that. Here you can provide a bit more information. So if you want to kind of do a semi-thesis, you can write a bit more about it. It's basically going, what is the ultimate goal of the challenge? What type of contributions are you looking for? What you're not looking for. You get to attach some supporting materials, so you can add some resources to that, like recommended readings, links to articles or papers, anything like that. To make your challenge a bit easier to find if it is a public challenge or if you have it as a private challenge and you want your team to find it a bit easier, you can pick what category it sits under. So it could be business and economy, law and regulation, transport, logistics. These are the kind of base Mindhive categories that we use to better sort and filter for challenges. If there's something in here that you feel doesn't really explain that, you can add tags to that, which will help your challenge be more discoverable if it's open to the Mindhive platform. So next we'll move on to the structure. This is basically setting some boundaries for the challenge. So you'll see in a minute how the tool will actually work, but you can set the duration of the challenge, start and end times. We recommend not going for too long, so we kind of keep that in the moment engagement with people and it doesn't kind of draw out or not have an end. And then within the challenge, you have some exercises. So we'll have a general discussion and an ideation exercise for launch, and I'll take you through it in a minute, but basically you can choose when you want these sections open to your participants. Next, we're on to the people section. So this is pretty critical for all organizations on the Mindhive platform. So the key offering here is that it's a crowdsourced platform for insights development, and you can either open the challenge to everyone or you can keep it private to a small group or just to your organization. What this means is if it's open to everyone, anyone can view it on the Mindhive platform, people can search for it, your team can search for it, your organization can search for it. And a private challenge is basically everyone shut out. No one can search for this, no one can find it unless they've been invited to this. It's completely private and you can do what you want. You can do what you want with the public one, but whatever. Who can join your challenge? So if you do have an open challenge, you can allow anyone on the Mindhive network to join, or you can have just people from your organization join. This feeds into how we serve up recommended people for your challenge. So that ties in a couple of steps down. And then how people can join your challenge. So you can decide that it's invite only, so you can have an open challenge with anyone on the Mindhive platform, but no one can participate in it unless you invite them, so they can see the activity, but they don't really get a say at the end of the day. But it's great to have an oversight from the Mindhive platform to see what's going on, what different companies are talking about, what kind of insights are being developed, and how that may help them with their challenges as well. or you can have it open to all. Anyone can hop in as they please, contribute, leave if they don't want to. You kind of get the opportunity in that sense to have anyone who may have an idea or a really good contribution to contribute that, but they may not want to be involved the whole process, so they can kind of give that and leave. But it's all up to you how you want to use this. And in regards to the Mindhive members, when you get to select who can join your challenge, this is when we start serving up recommendations of people who either have similar interests, relevant expertise, or wildcards, and that can be either from your organization or from the broader Mindhive network. What you get to see here is that these are people who are really active on the platform and who may provide the best input to your challenge. So you may not want to invite absolutely everyone, you just want to invite people who are really going to add value and engage in the challenge. And this is where we kind of serve that up to you and start to have these network effects and closing the loops on making it valuable for all people on the platform, for organizations and participants. Here you can select who you want to have in your challenge, and that will appear in this list. So these are the participants you've selected. If there's someone on the Mindhive platform if there's someone who isn't on the Mindhive platform that you want to participate, you can also invite them by email, and that will invite them to join up to the Mindhive platform, and then they can start contributing to your challenge. And last but not least on this page is the administrators. So if you have a large challenge or even a small challenge and you don't want to be the only person facilitating, you can basically invite people in your organization to help you facilitate this challenge. So you can give people the opportunity you can delegate tasks basically. So you can invite someone as an admin who will be the primary person to invite more people. You can be the person who is the highlighter. You can be the person who instigates conversation, who moderates the conversation. Get as creative as you want with your facilitators. So then we'll go into messages and alerts. So this is where one of the biggest things that we found with people on the previous versions is that they really wanted to get more involved with the whole communication side of things and really set the tone for it and personalize how people are invited to the challenges to kind of ignite more passion about what's happening. So here we open it up. So this is the email that people are going to receive basically, and it says your friend Nicky, that is me, is trying to solve the problem of upskilling the next generation of aviation engineers. Here you can write a custom message to them, and that's pretty much it. It gives a bit of information about Mindhive if people haven't seen the platform before. And then this is how you'll receive alerts for the challenge. So onto confirmation. You're almost ready to go, just making sure that you're happy with everything. You can see if you have or haven't completed some of the steps. You can go back to any of these and change anything if you want, but if you're good to go, launch your challenge. So this is the live version of a challenge. So here we've got who's posting the challenge, the byline, the image. You have an opportunity as a general Mindhive user to follow it or share it. You can apply to join, gives you a bit of an indication on how many days are left to go. We've got our overview, our discussion page, our insights, and our conclusion. Within the overview page, participants can come and see what you've put in as your brief or the extra information that you put as your background. Other participants are on the challenge as well who are contributing. What you can do is for them, see a bit more information about them, or go and see their profiles, and also the resources library. So if there's additional readings that you want your participants to go through before participating, that is available to them. So onto discussion, which is probably going to be the most activity alongside insights throughout a challenge. Here, it's pretty similar to most social platforms or forums where you can comment and like and post. This is where people can discuss the challenge at hand, post some helpful information. You can post anything, you can give it a title and enter your body of text. Post the topic, you can read through people, you can like it, comment. And this is where I'm going to introduce to you the unique tool that Mindhive has developed for their MVP. This is the ability to go through and highlight valuable information that you can start pulling out, grouping and theming, and start to develop those insights that go towards your solution or your approach or your hypothesis that you want to test through this process of crowdsourcing people for a challenge. So you can highlight this text. You get the option to either save it as an uncategorized highlight, like this is a good thing, we're going to put it on a post-it note, but we don't know how to group it yet. Or we can go here, and these are categories that you would have already created if this had been going for a while. Otherwise, you can create a new insight category. You can give it a name, and once you name that, you can create it. And here we see this highlight has been added to the government restrictions category. Go to the challenge insights page to view all your insights and categories. You can give that a bit of a click, and we've moved from discussion into the insights section. So this is where your highlights and your insights and ideas live. What we've got here are the cards that show you the high level groupings or themes that we have going, and people get the opportunity, participants as well as the facilitators get the opportunity to vote on the idea. So you start to see which ideas are maybe the most appropriate, which ideas seem the best. So people can do that. You have about, as each person, you have 3 votes that you can give. So we don't want people voting for everything. We really want them to be considered in their voting approach. And this is where you can start to see the title, the votes, the summary, the description of this theme that people are developing, the discussion around that. People might agree or disagree, and give you feedback on how you can better group these if you're not experienced in the grouping process. And you can also see the evidence behind this. So these are the highlights from the discussion page that have started to be pulled in and grouped under these. So one of the big approaches with insights development is it's evidence-based, right? So you've got your research, you've got your research, you've got your resources, you've got your comments, your anecdotes, people's experiences, and you start collating that, and that is the evidence that you have to support this theme and why it is an insight. And so that's that. You can create a new idea category. So maybe this might not be related to highlights or insights, but you might decide that you're going to use this tool as an ideation tool for people to vote on things. You can do that here as well, create that. And once you've gone through this whole process, at the end of the challenge, you can conclude it basically and give people closure as to what kind of came out of that, how their input was used, and how you. So you can give a bit of a summary on how that went. You can select the top insights that you're going to move forward with. Maybe this might be based on votes or what you think is appropriate for your challenge, and also give awards and mentions out to some of the top contributors of that challenge, because these people are giving their time and energy to this. You want to make sure that they're being, considered. To get to this conclusion section, we do have an administration center. So if you are the person running the challenge, this is where you can edit any of the details within your challenge. Similar to the sign-up process, you've got your challenge description, background information, and resource library. You can go through and amend the structure, as well as the people, cancel any invites, nudge people, make someone else an admin, see who's requested to join. And this section in the conclusion is where you can write your closing message, add insights to your top insights, and award people some special mentions.